Good morning. Oh, actually, no. Good afternoon, Eagles. So yesterday we were talking, and the last question I left you with was, what is one word that describes how you want to be treated at school? Okay. Now, I did ask you to think about the word, and I'm going to have you hold on to it because we're going to circle back to that at the end, okay? And that question I will be asking you again. So think about that during the time. But the focus that we're going to talk about today is overall respect for one another, for school, and in different places. So the first place we're going to talk about respect is in the classroom. And that looks like following the classroom rules, which is the rules that the teacher has established. Now, some teachers have them posted in their class so that you have a constant reminder. Some teachers have went over them with you and they put them in the syllabus or on their Google Classroom. Wherever it is, it's your responsibility to know what they are. And each class has a different set of classroom rules. They're typically kind of similar to one another, but you're responsible for knowing the different rules because you have different teachers. Okay. The next place we're going to talk about is the locker room. Now, respect for the locker room looks like walking in, changing in your space, and putting your backpack away, putting your clothes away inside the locker and leaving that locked so that people aren't tripping on it. It looks like being hands off, so we're not pushing and hitting and taking each other's clothes and putting them in different places and the hats or slapping each other in the butts and things like that. That's just not okay. And you guys, if you're doing things like that in the locker room, some of your actions can be considered sexual harassment and you will not be able to change in the locker room. And then the question I get is, well, where do I change? And then that becomes like a you problem where you have to figure it out. And you have to figure out maybe you're changing in the bathroom of not the locker room, one of the bathrooms somewhere, or maybe you're coming to school in your PE clothes. Okay, so please make sure we're being respectful in the locker room. And those of you using the girls' locker room, I do want to say thank you because when I go in there, all the backpacks are away and everybody's just, in their personal space and doing what they need to do and hurrying up. And we definitely notice that and appreciate that, and thank you. Okay, the next part is passing period. Now, we have a few passing periods throughout the day, and the purpose is just to get from one class to the other, but a lot of people are moving around at the same time. So you're respecting your space, meaning that you're walking past each other without, like pushing past and shouldering past because that's a safety issue. Okay, and then if you're stopping on the red, not white. And then, have you ever had to move around somebody when you're trying to go up or down the stairs because they stopped in the center and they are talking right there with their friends and you're trying to move around them? Please don't be that person, okay? Please move your conversation to the side. And we know that we're managing our time and getting to class on time. So with your conversation, wrap it up and get to class because you're supposed to be on time, okay? And then it is perfectly fine to help each other. Like if somebody gets bumped into and their things fall, it's okay to help them pick it up. And that's actually things that we like to see because we like to see people being caring of each other, and that's really awesome to see. Okay, the next thing we're looking at is being respectful to staff and students. So we're talking about that we're listening to each other when each other is speaking. So like when your teacher's talking, that's their time to talk. And when you're talking, that's your time to talk without each other interrupting each other or you being interrupted by other students. And then the following directions from your teacher or from a substitute teacher. And we are so glad to have so many amazing substitutes that want to work here. But to keep them wanting to work here, it means that you're following the directions and it's not a hard day for that. Okay, so talking about respect in 3 other places. So with the restrooms, we've already been through the whole restroom thing and the TikTok thing, and the girls' restroom, I want to say thank you to those using the girls' restroom, because you've been appropriate in there and you're leaving it clean, and we really appreciate that because it means that our custodial staff can work on different things for campus improvement. Okay, in the boys' restroom, we do need some improvement. Gentlemen, there's too many of you going in there at once, and sometimes not all of the activities are things that we should be doing on campus, like slap boxing, and people get in trouble for that, and then they have to stay for detentions for 2 or 3 hours and things like that, or, you know, if it continues, being suspended, because when you're doing slap boxing, people get hurt. I've had people where they lose part of their hearing because they get slapped in their ear and the air pushes in and it pops their eardrum. So now, because they're playing a game, they can't hear for the rest of their life the way that they used to. And that's a big deal. So please make sure that the restrooms are only being used in the manner that they should be used. Just use the restroom, wash your hands, out. Okay, the library. Recently we had to close the library down for a few days because people are running around and playing games, and the library is not that. So if you do want to run around and play games, we have the field, we have the basketball courts, we have a lot of space for you to do that, but it's just not the library. So we do, in the library, work. You're there to do homework, work, sit down quietly, check out books, check in books, things like that. And when the sign is up and it says do not enter anymore, that means do not enter anymore. Not ask and peek in and see, hey, is it okay? Or I saw 5 people leave. Maybe that means I could be one of the 5 people to enter. It doesn't work like that because you don't know how much they're over and how much they're trying to get back to the number that they need to be at. So please be respectful of the sign when it's there. And the lunch tables. This is the last one I'm going to talk about for today. For the lunch tables, please, please, please clean up behind yourself. We have about like 10 to 15 trash cans out there and recycle trash cans, so that a trash can is always there for you. So we shouldn't have things left behind. We are starting to get like a lot of different like birds that like to eat some of the trash, and with that, some of the animals around the hills, they start to come in because this is food left behind. And with those come like different snakes, come the coyotes, come the different things that we just do not want on our campus. Okay? And as it starts to heat up, if we're not picking up our trash, we're going to have more. And some of those things are rattlesnakes, where we have to deal with that because the little bunnies and things that like to eat the carrots and stuff that you're leaving behind, they like to eat those. Okay? So the snakes come for them. So please clean up behind yourself and help each other out. If you're sitting closer to the trash can, it's fine if you help your friend and throw their trash away too. Okay? Okay, so here are our campus supervisors, Miss Martha Early and Miss Patrice Landers. Now, we do have a third campus supervisor who comes during lunch to help us out, Miss Gloria Lynn. Now, the 3 of our campus supervisors are here for you and your safety. So if they're asking you to do something, please do it because they have your safety in mind. Now, if that means that they're asking you to leave the field because they saw something that was not okay, that means you're leaving the field. You're not coming and asking me about it because I'm going to say, oh, extra days, because I know that they're being nice to tell you one day. So please, please, please follow what they're telling you the first time. They don't like to take your phones, and they try not to, but if you always have it out during lunch and you're always breaking that rule, then yeah, it's going to happen and they're going to take your phone. So please keep your phones away and follow their instructions the first time they give it to you, please. Okay. Now at the beginning I asked you this one question. Now I'm going to ask you to answer it. So on a Post-it, answer the question. What is one word that describes how you want to be treated at school? Now, I talked a lot about respect, so let's dig deeper and let's think about another word. So all of us do want to be respected at school. What's another word to describe how you want to be treated at school? Okay. All right, so I will see you next time. Thank you, Eagles.